Betway, MSI, Logitech G, Pay Safeguard, Mountain Dew League, and ESEA.
Well, the fires have been decided and the flames have been subdued here in Odense as we take a look at our second map of this series, an upper bracket B group mount. And, well, NRG has put it together and come back here in the second map. And sort of a topsy-turvy sort of undertaking, dare I say. But we're going to be going into a third map soon. Not too soon. Don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. We got to kind of make some sense of how it all kind of unfolded here on Inferno. And to do that, will be Sponge and Pimp alongside of myself. So I guess right away, we got to start talking about these T-sides, Jacob.
Yeah, I mean, I still find myself questioning why they picked into Inferno. I don't think necessarily we saw something new out of MIBR. If anything, we saw some of the same struggles we have seen on Inferno, especially considering the CT side. You see Stu 2K and Falling pushing out Banana, not getting it done, just getting the trade frags, but you all know that favors into the Ts. And as for the T side, I think they ran into a few problems. They had a decent T side, but there was potential for much more. Yeah. There was a few rounds where it got down to the wire, got down to the clock, and they were pushing themselves unnecessarily.
Yeah, these late round scenarios are actually very scary, and we have an example that we can actually show here of one of these, not pivot rounds, but one of the rounds that MIBR probably could have had in the bag. Now, you can see this setup right here with Daps in the pit. You've got Breezy over towards the site, and Cirque's going to rotate in from that arch side. I also want to draw your attention here to the clock. At this point, it's not too bad with the time. 44 seconds, that's pretty good. But this exchange of utility that we're about to witness go down is where it comes in. The balcony smoke from MIBR lands, and then this is where the exchange, the scissor, paper, rock comes in. Obviously, we see the Molotov to the pit. Daps puts that out. And this smoke right here is what I want to highlight. This one on the balcony right here has basically slowed down this attack, Jacob.
Yeah, it slowed down the entire attack, and that's, you know, some of the fundamentals of Inferno, especially when you're talking CT side. You want to make sure you have the utility deep inside the round so you can do these plays. Had they not been able to throw those rounds, MIBR would have had much more time to work with, and they could have pressured them more.
Well, the next bit that I want to look at here is the flight path, because the clock is still becoming a problem. Now this is where we have the issue, right? Now we're down to 23 seconds, and that's the pressure. But they're going to do a fantastic little play here. They're going to have a circle jump out of apps to draw the fire of the site player and set themselves up with two different lines of sight. This is happening with 15 seconds left on the clock. So as you can see right here, circle jump out towards the quad side, and you have the apps player. This gives them two lines of sight to take this duel, and also the rotator of Cirque that we were talking about coming from this position. So we can actually pivot the camera one more time, and you can see how this rotation is actually going to play out. They'll kill Breezy towards the bomb site, then they're going to kill Cirque over there, and if we go back to the first camera, we can focus now on our danger man, Daps, who gets the kills, and look at the time on the clock. There's no time to get the kill, there's no time to pick up the bomb and plant, and in these kind of scenarios, it would actually be better to go and do safe plants in the bomb site. When it's so late round, that's one thing that I always used to tell my teammates, safe plant in the bomb site, so you can't go down in that fashion.
You know, and I guess on top of that, there were many times, at least in this matchup, that we saw MIBR falter a little bit around the bomb and getting it planted. I mean, there was even an instance where they were blocking each other. We saw instances over on the B site as well. So all in all, I mean, it didn't look as well oiled and drilled there.
No, I think that's the biggest problem for me, that it didn't look well oiled, you know, and you would assume that that's the thing they have worked on during that boot camp leading into this tournament. Otherwise, they wouldn't pick Inferno. So in that regard, a little bit disappointed by the display. But as you said, you know, this was a pivotal round. This was a round that led on to a 4-win streak for NRG. Had MIB won this, it would have been 7-2, potentially 8-2, and we wouldn't have seen such a disparity of the display here.
Well, there's no disappointments in the second map, at least not with the NRG side, because we do have the opportunity to hear from them. Daps specifically, let's hear what they had to say.
NRG make it 1-1 with a very confident performance there on Inferno. And first thing I've got to ask is, it just seemed like the NRG show from kind of once you go into that second half, right? It was a close first half, and then Ethan just started playing out of his mind, right?
Yeah, Ethan definitely, I think he had 30 kills, or close to it, so that definitely helped us win there.
Now, when we're looking at what you guys done on Inferno, right, you look back in the past, there's been more closer games come to it. What was the big change here? Did you guys feel maybe more prepared for them?
I wouldn't say we were more prepared. I think we woke up mentally, because obviously we got destroyed on what we consider our best map. Yeah. I think we consider Inferno our second best map. So I think individually we just played a lot better. I don't think it was anything specific to do with preparation.
Now, Mirage, you played MIBR on it twice recently. We've seen a 16-14 and 16-12, but in their favor. Do you think now you guys have kind of got to this point where the first map was so bad, this map's looked really strong, that you're like there, motivated, hungry, ready to just close this one out?
Yeah, I think we've had a lot of success on Mirage versus them, but we threw away two big. I think both those matches were online for ECS and Pro League, but We had 2 big leads in both those matches, I believe, and lost them anyways on our CT side. So if our CT side can hold up a little bit, I think we can win.
Hey, well, good luck, man. I'll let you go on and get prepared for it. Speaking to Dabs here after them, we'll see if they can get it 2-1 or what MIBR can bring at the end.
Which is what MIBR is hoping to do. Close it out here at 2-1, but it's going to be a little bit of a tall tale there. Yeah. In fact, we heard Dapp speak a little bit about his teammates, so the numbers, we're going to run them back. We're going to show you exactly what he's talking about. Ethan, 29-11, 119 ADR so far. And, well, over the entirety of this series, he's given 42 kills, 27 deaths. He's plus 15 right now.
Huge performance by Ethan here. And a similar thing happened in the grand final over there in Malta. Their first map, they got, like, pretty much blown out of the water, and then they were able to bounce back and play more of a looser style on the second map and allow their fraggers to really hit the scoreboard. It wasn't Ethan in the same regard as what we've seen right here, because this is a monster of a performance, but that's good signs that even after such a loss, they can come back into things, they can get reinvigorated and really push MIBR.
And I definitely agree. I think it just adds another layer to NRG as a team. I think the consistency we praised them for is definitely one of the strength sides they have, but the fact, as Chad is saying, that they can lose the first map and still come in against a team of the MIBR caliber and still put up a performance on the second map and push it to a third. Something we don't often see from teams, you know, in the just below the top tier rank. So I think the consistency and the fact that they constantly do that is something you gotta give it to them and attribute to.
Well, yeah, one of those attributes being the adaptation purely over there on the side of NRG. We're going to run some more numbers for you guys while we continue to talk and basically start to make sense of how this could go one way or the other on Mirage. It's time to start focusing on the next map.
Yeah, I think, you know, it's always the same old story of mid-control in Mirage, but that's more to do about, like, the way that a team can handle with the pacing. So if a T team is going for a lot of mid-control, and that's what they want to base their entire half off of, that's going to be curious to me of who goes for the mid-control first. The CT is going to do it like normal, take an assertive first or second gun round, try and lock them down there, or is there a different game plan in mind? I actually think that MIBR's prep for NRG, they can, in my opinion, because of the recent games over the Malta, they can prepare for the more recent version of NRG, whereas they've had a little bit of time over in the MIBR camp to change a few bits and pieces around that maybe they're not going to be ready for.
And I think that's an excellent point to bring up, you know, the whole mid-control, who does it first and how aggressive are you going to do it? Because if you're NRG, you must think to yourself right now, we're facing MIBR, they're definitely more confident than they used to be, so we expect them to be aggressive. So that's where the mind games sort of start. If you're MIBR, do you really want to go into that fight straight away, or do you want to play it out a little and wait with being that aggressive MIBR they know they can be? So it's sort of like a mind game already before the game begun.
They want to start to set the tone, the presence early on within the match and sort of dictate the pacing, because that's what's going to come down to. The pacing has set itself, and it's going to be setting us up for a little bit of Mirage action here between MIBR and NRG. It's going to be including those commentators you love to hear from them, hailing from Brighton Beach, England. It's going to be Harry and Hugo. Oh, and that other guy's from Oxfordshire.
Hey, there you go. You remembered where you're from this time.
I got some rep. I didn't get lumped into a place I've never even been.
I mean, also, like, Brighton is, I mean, like, Brighton Beach is, I'm not from a beach. If I was born on a beach.
You know what I can tell you, Harry? There's a bit of Brighton in all of us, especially Trace. He just loves a good bit of Brighton. But either way.
He sadly does. Brighton rock is not a genre of music. It's a sweet, and it's great.
Well, let's see if MIBR can Brighton rock the scoreboard here as we head into the pistol round. We've got Utility on Fallen and Cold Zero. Already Molotov to the window, but Cirque on a repeat. They're ready for it. They're double set up on the angle. Insta-kill, insta-boost. MIBR behind enemy lines, and Daps has got to fall off this CT position because it's been smoked. This is a nice execute from MIBR, already baiting in that peak in the window room. And as a result, they're going to have the site, they're going to have that bomb down, and NRG, man, disadvantage for the retake. Very difficult spot to be in.
Oh, most definitely. This is not the pistol round that NRG would have liked. Fugly going to try and do something. He will take a bullet to the face. Breezy does what he can, and what he can's quite a bit. He's found himself a quick double, and now this looks possible for NRG. Stewie going to try and get the trade, and eventually he does. Taps on the bomb. Sadly, not able to get the defuse off in time. MIBR going to be finding themselves the pistol round there. So that will be them now allowed to build a bit more momentum here into the third map.
Yeah, look at that. They're just so ready for it. I mean, that was the whole expectation of MIBR. As soon as that Molotov fades, Cirque tries to get information, but, I mean, that's the reason they didn't smoke it. It's more expensive than a smoke anyway, but they just wanted to allow him to peek sooner. They will do the same window this round, Harry, because it's Fallen, Stewie, everyone lighting up the scoreboard here, apart from Stewie, who got picked up after only one. But that's fine. That's a really good, clean round from MIBR. Get rid of those USPs. Come in with a big old buy in the third round. And NRG, they're certainly going to be favoured in this one, considering this eco in the previous. They're going to have a bunch of orgs, whereas MIBR still rocking the double Galil, still on that Mach 10. Potential fast B approach. Could see that quick cat split, but there's still no AWP in play. And I think that's a big talking point as well, considering both Fallen and Cirque were bottom of each team in the previous map. But we'll get to that later.
Right now, though, a bit of a change in heart from MIBR. They head back toward this A-bomb site, grouping all 5 players up in this portion of the map, not electing to go for that kind of slower, more regimented default early on. Looking like they want to try and play for A, and you take a look at the utility that's left here. Fugly's got nothing. Breezy's only got 1 flash. They've got very little to hold back. Becoming tired of MIBR with. Fugly's got to do it with a maelstrom of bullets. Let's see as they come his way. Fugly going to go peeking up over the top, and he does manage 1. Tied to turning, but Fugly's still there, and he's going to go ahead and cement a second. Tarek down through the ladder like a speed demon. Does manage to pick him up. Cirque's been boosted, and from atop the warhead, he rains down death from above. Fallen. Good for 1, but now it's only Cold, and we've been able to see this from his perspective as he tries to meander up through connector. He will get cut down, and that's NRG finding their first round. The Orgs prevail over on that CT side.
Yeah, as expected, only essentially a bonus round there from MIBR, and while, you know, they are going to struggle in the likes of Stewie, who had to rebuy in that third round, it's still going to be by and large okay. They're still going to be able to get in rifles, so not a huge issue for MIBR to lose that one, but it does definitely give NRG the breathing room, and going forward they can at least take their first here, but also setting themselves up for reset. That's always the worry, and MIBR using an early timeout just to try and talk things over, make sure they are all on the same page for this buy round, because, well, they're obviously not going to have everything they would like. If they can pick it up, that would be a really, really nice way to turn I wouldn't say turn the game on its head, but they're still in the lead, but stop NRG from getting into this game, essentially, would be the intention of MIBR. Steamroll them. Get a rolling pin, whatever you want to do. 2-1 though, and 2 pistols in play. Already that fast move play for NRG. In fact, they are going to be the ones bringing the heat here.
Yeah, they're going to try and take this fight. They're going to try and take these early. Oh, man, advantages, and Ethan, he's feeling right at home. He's not content with 2. He's ready. He's going to keep on fragging. 3 kills, Ethan. My goodness, that's the bomb dropped, and this round's already open for MIBR. Coldzera and Tarek in a 2-on-5. What can they do? Because right now it's looking like a resounding not much as they divert back to go ahead and try and get this bomb.
I mean, what can anyone do against that? He just hits 3 headshots, like ridiculous shots by Ethan at the top of middle. This guy is such a young star for this roster. Definitely going to be someone to watch out for going into the next year. Only 18 years old as well. But forget the next year, Harry. We're in the current round, and he's on 4. He's looking for this ace. With Coldzera the only man to stand tall, and he will not stand for much longer. An ace from the young gun of NRG, shutting down the buy round of MIBR. On your screens now, it is Ethan.
I mean, look at this. It's the second shot, just straight up. Makes it look so easy as well, you know, isolating all those fights, never giving them a position where they can see more than, where more than 1 player can even see him, right? Just peeking into that, keeping it so tight on the angle and using the misdrop smoke as well to his advantage. This round, it's just Glocks out for MIBR. They're up in the Palace. And while they were once Counter-Strike royalty and would have fit right in here, they haven't been for a little while. They're pushing on in. Fugly finds 1, but there you go. Does deny it. 1 bullet left in the chamber, and that's all it takes to get the job done. Stewie, 1v5. He's all the way over in B. He's in the market. And It's the art of the deal as Stewie tries to trump the remaining players here for NRG.
Ooh, no one's watching this.
Oh, there you go. There's one. Now they know where he is. No more, sadly. Maybe a bit more could have came on that, but didn't feel too comfortable. Just took the one kill he knew he could get. I think that's safe when you only have the Glock. You know, you don't want to run up behind someone and, you know, head dink animation. They duck down. Oh, great. Then you uninstall CS and never play it again.
Yeah, I mean, if that was me on the Glock there and I found a player with a back turn, I probably still couldn't kill them. I mean, that gun's awful. Really, really bad. But Fugly, hilarious in the CT spawn, obviously getting that first kill, switching to the USP, both of them having to get a reload in, and then he just one-taps the Panzer. That's exactly what you want. MIBR denied the money, and as a result, they don't have an AWP in this buy round. They've got full rifles. Well, they had full rifles, but already Tarek, Stewie, Fur, everyone. I could just list the names here that Ethan's killing. Again, at the top of middle with Cirque, finding frags left, right, and center. It's Fugly to clean up. Oh dear, what a mess of a round for MIBR. They're getting shredded here on Mirage, Harry.
And I mean, that's, once again, a sort of scary situation for them to be in. NRG keeping this momentum up from the previous map, keeping that strong CT side rolling in. The pistol round goes the way of MIBR. They find the conversion, but since getting into these rifles, they've been bested at every turn. Now they have the money to, well, they've gone for a bit of a partial buy. I was going to say they're just going to have to eco, but they did have a little bit extra. Stewie is going to be a dubious prospect to go for anything too strong in the coming rounds. You know, you will be at that max loss bonus at the end of this one, so it's not the end of the world. And already Ethan, continuing his great form, finds the opener in this one. That's Fur to hit the deck. No one nearby really to trade. Yep, Cold with his Deagle. Might have something to say about this. That's the thing, MIBR, you can't write them off when all they've got is these pistols. They are very proficient with them.
But just look at the lack of fear. I mean, the push in through mid right now from Ethan, the nade up top. He has no worry because Breeze is covering him from above, but as that smoke fades, Tarek's going to look for an opening. He's going to look to try and find a pick, but instead he gets picked apart. His head taken off by Breezy, and still this AUG on Cirque up in short as well. Fugly utilising his at the back of CT to drop Fallen out the Palace, and 2 players up for MIBR. Not long for this world. I mean, their bomb has not left the T-spawn the entire round, so that gives a good idea of how confident MIBR are that they're going to get anything out of this one. But Stewie finds a pretty nice shot onto Ethan. However, if they do actually want to be convinced of going for this, they need to get that bomb. But with that kill going the way of Cirque, that's almost going to guarantee this round going the way of NRG. He finds both. You can see Chet there also trying to get his team hyped up, and it definitely should be. They are looking good right now. 5-2. You know, Ethan has been ripping apart these buy rounds. And now MIBR going back in with one, but look at the difference. We've got the AWP now for both teams, the first time this map.
Yeah, I mean, that's the real kind of draw for me. That's the exciting part. We're going to get to see that on either side of the board. Cirque going to be donning it for NRG. I tell you what, NRG really are just taking this AUG in its stride. And already aggression in towards mid. That's Daps. And Ethan going to be making the return into the top of middle, this time not met with immediate resistance from MIBR, who are just holding down the angle right now. Cold Zera left there to try and keep an eye on it. Ethan's the man tasked with trying to get a leash on the beast that is Cold Zera, as we know. Ooh. There's 3 players here, though, and Ethan, there was heroics in the round prior when faced in effectively what was this little 1v3. Shouldn't be the case this time. Cold Zera is going to fling across like a trebuchet. And here we go. Oh, that's not the run boost you want, but still he's there to remedy it. They do manage to get rid of Ethan.
That wasn't a proper run boost. That was just a close drop.
Yeah.
He didn't want to go flying out into an AWP middle or not be able to hit him. He wanted to instantly peek him with his teammate who was below him.
Yeah, less of a trebuchet, more of a slingshot, but there's nothing wrong with that. Fugly in with the trade, back into a 4-on-4.
I think we can all agree that trebuchets are by far the more dominant building destroyer.
Just slingshot a building down, yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh. Fugly saw him. Fugly sees him. Fallen sees all, does get rid of Cirque. Oh, Fugly, very, very fast. And it's just AUGs. It's only AUGs, and Fugly with a 4K.
Yeah, having a ball, showing up, and not just the likes of Ethan, not just Cirque with that AWP. It's nice to see some variety in this NRG fragging capability. We have a different player step up for this team. Typically more of a supportive role is Fugly, but damn, is he showing off with that AWP here on the A bomb site. And it's just convincing me, Harry, this gun is so well utilized this event. Everyone has been playing it. It has just been great. And I like it more than the Krieg. How many Kriegs have we seen this event? Yeah. I can't think of one.
Yeah, and I tell you what, I think initially a lot of people figured it would be the other way around, right? Like the AUG is the one that's kind of like, nah, and then, but you know, I mean, the pros have really been taking to it like ducks to water. I hope that one's okay.
I don't know, ask Peter.
Who's he? Ethan. Gonna get dropped down in the connector. Tell you what. This A bomb site now becomes a very, very tricky spot to hold onto for Fugly. He's stuck between a rock and a hard place, and then even then, a third place, it's on fire, may as well be. Falling, keeping an eye on it from the Tetris, and he's not playing games. He's going to go ahead and shut him down. Cirque and Breezy.
That bomb's yet to cross, though, and there's no smokes for it, only flashbangs. So Cirque, he could shut this entire round down, or at least throw a spanner in the works, and getting his toolkit out, finding that first kill. There's a close peek available for Stewie, but what a climb from Cold. That's a fantastic position to shut down that AWP. Never ready for it. Breezy does get the trade, but by that point, the bomb's been picked up and planted on the other side of Triple, and Breezy, he's got no idea. The flash goes over, it allows the escape, and with a crossfire, even with Tarek low, is going to make this so difficult for Breezy. Tarek won't be making contact. As said, he's tagged up. So Breezy's got to deal first with the man in CT, but a double peek is available. Bomb tapped. Tarek not going for it. Cold's already got the info, and he will get the frag on top as well. 2 for him. Great work from Cold in that round. And that will be another one for MIBR.
And Breezy gets very unfortunate there. It makes the decision to check ramp first after spotting the man who crosses into CT. And as he checks ramp, Cold peeks from the CT angle, spots that no one's there. So he calls to Tarek, the man on low HP, to not peek from ramp, just to stay tucked away. And then the second time around when Breezy peeks it, they double peek into that, so he was confirmed dead. You were bang on. You said this. Sorry, go.
Yeah, I was gonna say the reason you would check ramp in that position is because, as you could see, it was Breezy, right? And if he wanted to check one position, he has to isolate himself from the other position. And so by checking ramp, he can walk round Triple and have his back not exposed to CT. But if he checks CT, he's got a wide peek it and therefore is exposed to ramp. That's the best of a bad situation. That's your only option.
No, most definitely. So. MIBR, they finally managed to break the curse. They finally managed to correct the 6 rounds in a row that NRG had been able to build up and find a third. Leading the charge is Fugly, not normally a man we see at the top of the board, but he can definitely frag. He does sometimes have these games where he just kind of feels it. And this one looks to be no exception to that rule. His stalwart defense of this A bomb site really has bailed NRG out in some of these rounds. Ethan, another man, really one of the stars of this team, going to try and take control of the top of Banana early on. Fur wrapping around into lower tunnels, trying to spot something out. That Molly has just rained on in. And you can see they're very aware that NRG, they've been playing this mid-aggression. They've been sticking Ethan and Daps here almost every single round. And this time, well, Ethan doesn't have his little buddy in the form of Daps to go back-to-back with. He has Cirque in the window, and that's how they're playing this. Cirque watches the top mid. Ethan, he has his sights firmly fixed down on lower tunnels. They're watching both angles, and they can play off one another. There's the flash through from the man up on short. That's Breezy throwing it, and that facilitates the peek from Ethan. Breezy's there to bail out Ethan the first time around, and he pivots, his head's on a swivel. Somehow he's still finding frags, and bombs drop, Fallen's traded out. It's Tarek in a 1v3.
Great work, great reaction from NRG to actually pull that second player into the connector to defend Ethan. He may go down, but it gives the damage that Ethan can finish off the kill to. Tarek now, is he aware of this position from Serg? He's not. It's a quick shot with the AWP, and although mid wasn't the breeding grounds for Serg, he'll certainly shut down the jungle push. And just like that, a reset coming through, a 7th for NRG, and MIBR getting schooled out of it. Money has been sent to, well, maybe the accounts of NRG here. They've logged in, they've scammed them, and they've taken all their skins, Harry. There's nothing left for the Brazilian-American mix. A couple of $1,000s a player here, and yeah, you could force up, but we haven't really seen too much success. Maybe a bit of a B play could be in order. I don't think we've seen an actual B attack at all. It's like that North game earlier on today where 14 out of the 15 T-side rounds, North went towards A.
And I mean, you kind of think about it. This really has been one of the consistent problems within this MIBR roster, and that is, you think back to the previous iterations. This back when it was, you had SK, the original 5-man squad, and during their kind of golden era, it was their resilience, right? Their ability to, if they're on the back foot, you can never count them out. Whereas this iteration of the squad do sometimes feel like if they fall behind, they struggle having that ability to build back into a game where they end up on the back foot. And that's something now that they're going to look to try and correct with this fast B play. They send a player down through short in the form of coldzera. He's already up and round. He's past the curve, and he's ran the gauntlet, made it past, and lived to tell the tale. And, oh, NRG, they've fully rotated. They've put all 4 players over toward this B bomb site. That bomb's doubling back. And NRG, they're not going to keep 4 here for long, but even still, Fugly and Ethan, all that remain to hold down this coming play in towards A, maybe not. The bomb's now headed back round. This becomes a bit of a mystery as to where we end up.
The thing is, you can afford to play retake on A because it's so easy to get back into the site, and MIBR only have pistols. Now, pistols on B, when you're retaking against that, it can get very out of hand, especially if guns like the AWP and these AUGs are picked up by MIBR. So that's why NRG are so heavily banking on this B site right now. And it's going to be the right call to make with this bomb, but it is alone. That's the big question mark on this, because no one else is putting any pressure on short. No one's trying to support Fallen. He's making a lot of noise, and the second they spot him, that's the bomb already called. Now we're going to start to see those shift rotations, and the bomb dropped alone in the apartment. Not a single MIBR player nearby. I'm not too sure on the call there. They're finally going to make their way up short, but this is so stagnated, so separated from the rest of the team. They're going in one by one to the chopping block, and it's Gordon Ramsay on the other side. NRG, another round on this CT side. 8-3. They deal with the eco, or I guess the force buy, and now it will be exactly that, the eco.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned Gordon Ramsay on the other side of that chopping block, and it really was Hell's Kitchen over towards that portion of the map, wasn't it? Because, you had like 2 AWPs in there, 3 guys inside of the bomb set, everywhere you turn. Yeah. Scopes across the board. There's, I don't know. I mean, it's just a mess, isn't it? MIBR. It is just going to be taking one on the chin at this point in time. Really, they don't even grab the bomb.
They really are feeling like idiot sandwiches right now, Harry.
Indeed, they are. I mean,
awful.
I don't know about. Oh, fuck. Good for one. Breezy trades, but still the Glock's doing a little bit of damage. That's, you can't be too disappointed in that. Fugly's now here alone, and that's the bomb dropped out in the open. This round's all said and done. 9-3, NRG in the driver's seat. They are looking to try and get some revenge after that second place finish in Malta just about I almost said a week ago, probably less than that. It was literally days ago.
3 days, yeah. 4 days. I think the weirdest part about...
I'm on Valve. I mean, it's Wednesday. Not Wednesday to me. It's still only Monday to me.
Yeah, Wednesday 2020. Which one? One of them. Yeah, this is... the weird part about this series is every game has been dominant so far. There's not been any close games in this series, but both teams have picked up their opposing team's map pick. 9-3 now on this one. MIBR still a chance to come back into this half with these buy rounds, but if you look, they're really, really getting desperate for utility in this one. There's 2 smokes, and we're just 20 seconds into the round. Molotov on Fur, but he's typically one of the first men into the bomb site, so let's see if MIBR can find some success, maybe towards his B site now. They're not on pistols, and Stewie, once again, no support on this solo B apartments player, but that's fine on a default, and he'll do a lot of damage to keep Daps low. Daps using his utility to get out of position, the smoke, the flashbangs, and then the delayed drop from Daps. He might not even drop, he might just stay there, but no, he's low. Rather take a different angle, play a headshot position to compensate for the 60 damage taken by Stewie, and now look at the nades, Harry. We have 3 left and already a man down for MIBR. This spells disaster.
Oh, it almost certainly does.
Oh. This is the kind of stuff that NRG were messing up in that first map when they were getting absolutely wrecked. Now MIBR are doing it. Just silly little mistakes, but it just shows the mindset that they're in.
Yeah, the other thing that kind of worries me is the utility man, the one with everything, was also the one to get boosted up into the window. If he goes down there, you've got nothing. And they're very lucky that he doesn't. They're not so lucky, however, because Ethan is down here on ramp. Now, he's being hunted by Stewie. Just the question now becomes, will Stewie get there in time? Doesn't matter because Fallen is deleted Ethan. Now this becomes very, very possible indeed. As we're into the 3-on-3, this was a round that MIBR really had no stake in winning. They headed into this site, as you said, a 4v5. There was a man down a ramp, there was a man in the back. They had no utility for the most part. A Molotov and a nade, that's all they had. And they made it possible. Fallen's the man making it possible as he finds a double. Just Cirque and Breezy left standing. And they should have very little chance of getting back into this round. It's just Cirque left. He's going to hold on to the AWP. It's a 4th for MIBR as Fallen, Cold, and Fur dig deep and manage to pick it up.
And that's a huge round. That may facilitate the comeback or at least the 9-6 scoreline of the half, which would be reasonable. That would be absolutely fine for MIBR. They'd be happy with that at this point. Well, not like they've got any other options. So, yeah, you know, 9-4 now, given a chance, given an opportunity. But, Harry, with every good thing comes something bad. I've not really heard that saying before, but we'll say that because NRG, they're going to be available to reset MIBR's economy here, and that's when things can get very difficult. And you know, MIBR, they had the first 2 rounds of the map, and they got one halfway through the first half, and you know, since then it's just been a reset. So you know, if history repeats itself, things not looking good, and we're going back to that heavy mid play from NRG. They pulled this up earlier into the map. Luckily enough, MIBR are going for an A execute. Only one man towards that CT spawn. It will be a quick rotation through the connector. Ethan trying to smoke himself off. And Stewie, he's already behind enemy lines, in front of them, in fact, because Breezy's ready for it. Shot through the smoke, and once again, a man advantage for the CT side.
Okay.
See ya.
First there. Gonna go ahead and bail out Fallen. No idea how he does that. Through a smoke, through a box, into the skull of Ethan. And now into a 4-on-4. And you can see that NRG, they're already knocking on the door of MIBR. Daps is in the CT. The rest of the squad going to be coming in from jungle. Fallen got a very long round. It has to rely on the rest of the squad staying alive and winning their fights. The bomb is planted for mid. The bomb is planted for him. And Fallen going with the spray. Cirque spots him and does tag him down. It's only Tarek left. A 1v3 and they're on the bomb. Tarek has to find it, but he's denied the bomb. And MIBR picking up a 5th round. Tarek times it well. And on the back of it, they might lose everybody. They still find round number 5 and successfully win 2 in a row for the first time since the pistol.
Oh, that team speak must have been so frantic and frightening from NRG, just getting peeked from all angles. The Molotov on the bomb, the peek from middle by Fallen. Tarek coming in clutch at the last possible second. Even though NRG construct a very, very strong retake, it's actually MIBR on that long flank to make it work. That's why you always got to have a guy watching for your flank if you can't find the last T. But it's going to be a bit of a mistake made from NRG. And a bit of an opening created for MIBR. They're back in this game, Harry, and for the first time, it feels like in forever, they've taken that opening kill. It's been a long, long time. NRG have just been so good at taking a 5-on-4. And now MIBR, they're in the driving seat. It was Fallen's quick B pick coming through, catching the jumping daps. That's his workout routine. He doesn't do jumping jacks in the gym. He's just jumping daps.
Oh, well, it's clearly working out for him.
They call him the smoke criminal, but I mean, that's just a bit too far. So he's just hiding in the smoke at top mid, and a criminal execution by Breezy will put it back into an equal situation.
Yeah, death by firing squad, certainly not how he figured he would go, but that's what happens. 4-on-4, and this bomb out from ramp. Smoke's rain into CT. Then going to try and go through. He throws a smoke of his own to try and play around with it. Uses to his advantage. This allows him to isolate the fight. Cirque denies that bomb plant, and Ethan's in with another. So Cold's error and Tarek left standing. It was a big flank from Breezy now that looks to play into this round late. He's the failsafe, the linchpin, the man who, if all else fails, he can provide. Ethan, though, laying down the pain, and there's that wrap round as well, playing into it. 10-5 at the end of the first half. As NRG managed to reach double digits before the very end.
Yeah, this is a team that's looking crisp, looking ready to go, and looking ready to take down MIBR at this best of 3, frankly. They are, without doubt, looking like the better team, at least in this map so far. MIBR have showed us how scary they can be when their players are coming to life, but it seems like that's just not continued throughout the series. We had everyone peaking on that first map, and since then, there's definitely been some slower starts. Fallen, however, he's been hitting shots with the AWP, he's been finding those opening kills, and he is top of the board for the team, but if you compare those scoreboards, Harry, it's, well, night and day.
Oh, most definitely. NRG with Ethan, Breezy, Fugly, and Zerk all, you know, within a very, very close distribution of one another, all up in those double digits, everyone pulling their own weight. You look at MIBR, really it's Fallen kind of leading the charge. The rest of the team not exactly stepping into place behind him. Even Tarek, right? He might have won that crucial 1v3 by denying the defuse. Other than that, he picked up 3 kills the entire first half. So, certainly not the situation you want to be in if you're an MIBR fan. There's still a chance for them here heading into the second half. You can see the Betway odds down on your screen, and they do lean the way of NRG reasonably heavily now. It was a lot closer initially, and NRG could open things up with the B rush. The B perhaps standing for Betway. They want to try and get this one over and done with as they go pushing on in.
Gotta love the sponsors. Coldzera, he loves the headshots, and he's already finding 2. This is a great start for MIBR, but can he get any more? Can he deny the bomb plant? It's actually Tarek also on the bench doing the damage, and he finds a double as well. It's a full house for MIBR. Everyone's home, and then knocking on death's door. Punching NRG down in that pistol. 3 players even surviving, so nice confident start to the second half of MIBR, and that's what they need, Harry. They're down 10-5 right now. Yeah, 10-6 after.
Yeah, no, you mentioned right. You go knocking on the door of a fully stacked B bomb site. Exactly, like you said, full house. And at the end, they did knock down the Ginger as they were able to go ahead and find it. That will be 6-10. You say Daps is Ginger, he kind of is.
Oh, is that the? I was
knock down Ginger. You know that game?
No.
You never used to play that?
Knockdown Ginger. Is that what they used to call it when they bullied you at school?
Yeah, actually, yeah, it was. Oh. Yeah, you try to laugh through the pain, but no, it's where you knock at someone's door and then just run away.
Or knock knock run. Why would they call it knockback Ginger? What's the hair color?
Knock back.
What's it called?
Knock down.
Oh, knock down Ginger.
How is that? Knock knock run.
Because that's what you do. It's very self-explanatory. Where is the Ginger reference in knocking on someone's?
I don't know where it comes from.
Harry, we know you down in Brighton were a big fan of the tomfoolery and the door knocking.
All I'm saying,
right? Not all of us are.
Also, this is an anti-eco, so we can't afford to just go off on a bit of a tangent here. You don't just call things literally what they are.
Knock Knock Ginger is a prank or a game dating back to the 19th century.
Yeah,
England.
mine's from the 19th century. Yours is from Oxfordshire, and it's something that you and the, you know, the resident boys of Oxfordshire boys' school came up with. I don't know.
Boys' school.
7 and 10.
Oxfordshire girls' school, Harry. Come on, man.
7 and 10.
Oh.
And let's see if MIBR can keep knock knock running away with this one. As they have found the pistol, they found the conversion.
Have they? I thought they lost it and the conversion. You said NRG, didn't you?
No, I said MIBR.
Oh, I misheard you.
Found the pistol, found the conversion. Now 7 and 10.
I'm right.
But the buy is on the board for NRG. Rifles for everybody, no AWP in sight for Cirque. A little bit utility lacking on Ethan, but he's still got cash to invest. He's going to be picking up the Molotov alongside. It's a bit of a decision as to what he was going to buy. You know, how they were going to spread that cash out. And MIBR are going to be attempting the bonus round here.
A lot of SMGs, they always like to do this, which can be dangerous at a 10-7 scoreline, but can also really set you up for success if you even lose it. It can really help you sometimes, because NRG, they're going to have, you know, essentially 4th round loss bonus by next round if MIBR win this, but if they lose this and then they buy back into it and win the follow-up, it really, really wrecks NRG's economy. It's like kind of losing the pistol and winning the force buy. You're never going to plan to do it because it's difficult to do, but if you do it, you're in a great position. So, off-screen action here. Ethan, just, you know, doing his thing, shooting people through smokes. That's okay. Man advantage taken for NRG. They're going to look to solidify their place on this A bomb site. Fallen, he's under the balcony. He's made that very clear with a flashbang, but he's not going to get anything from it.
Stewie goes barreling through the smoke, and he's good for one, but that's it. There's no trade potential. Coldzera just tucked away in CT. Tarek on a lengthy flank round, and this bonus round is certainly not shaped up to be that for MIBR. Tarek pushing into the Palace. Gonna look to try and usurp Breezy, who currently resides here. The only issue is he rules with an iron fist, although yeah, that's Tarek getting dropped. coldzera.
Oh my god.
Falling promptly after.
That's a ridiculous shot. That's just not even fair. Ethan, once again, coming in clutch for NRG, as does Breezy, and that's 11-7. So here's the key round that we talk about now. All of that previous lost round and getting NRG one step closer to closing out this series could all be in vain, or it could just work wonderfully for MIBR if they win an 8th here, because then it's $1,400 in the bank for NRG. They'll still be able to buy for one more, considering they're a very clean buy round just here against the SMGs. But let's see if that treaded reset does really come back to haunt NRG. It's a bit of a B play. That's a very good counter to what the setup currently is, because there's only Tarek here. Cold falling back on short. Tarek to do some damage, and through the smoke, Fugly appears, and Tarek takes his head clean off. He doesn't even drop. He just sits back up on the balcony. He's finally going to fall as they start to close the distance, but that's when coldzera comes in clutch.
But I've got to go toe-to-toe with Ethan, the real heavyweight on NRG, the man who's been leading the charge. And in he goes into the firing line of coldzera. They walk 3 kills, and he's not content. He's not done. He wants Daps. He's hungry for more, and Daps is going to give it to him. 4 frags for Cold. Fantastic stuff there. And he's earned that fist bump from Yanko.
Yeah, he didn't even look away from his screen. That man has peripheral vision. Like, he has the eye equivalent of an owl. He can just do 360s with his head without it moving. Don't know. There's
He didn't look.
Yeah.
You were.
I don't know. He's got eyes in the side of his head, Harry.
Yeah, like a gazelle, maybe.
Do they? Oh, yeah.
They're pretty graceful as well, so maybe that will do, because he did this with beauty, with grace, and finesse. coldzera. My goodness. That will be 8-11. And for NRG, they've gone for the buy here, but it's really cobbled together. They have a little bit to work with, a couple of CZs here, and you understand why they've gone for it. They can feel they're pretty competent buy, all things considered. 2 rifles to work with on Breezy and Cirque, and those can get juggled around the other players who have armor. They have enough just to go for the set piece, and that's what they're going to try. But Stewie might have already called some of that into question, dropping the Incendiary at ramp. Luckily enough, they haven't thrown any utility out yet on the side of NRG.
Breezy is having a brilliant game, so it's nice to see him one of those rifles, but I would love to see Cirque give that to Ethan just because of how well he's been playing this series. And actually, maybe not needed. There's a gun under the balcony. There's entries coming in left and right. Cold, again, has to save the day here for MIBR, and he may be up for the task, pushing close to the smoke. That bomb getting dropped, and Cold is just absolutely tearing them to shreds. Fugly's now last man standing, and Cold will send him to the depths. 9 rounds to MIBR, and wow, what was one touted as the best player in the world, unequivocally, is showing us what he's really made of here in the end of 2018.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I mean, yeah, I think for the case of a lot of the guys on this team, they've had enough of it, being in that back seat, watching all these other teams find success and move ahead and go on to try and challenge Astralis and always fall short. MIBR, they want their piece of the action. They want to try and be the team going toe-to-toe with the Giants. Because there was a time where they were the Giants. Here's a quick play out from the apartment. Stewie gonna find 2, and yeah, this round's all said and done. They try and go for a fast, explosive play, just barrel out through the palace, try and get that bomb down, overwhelm anyone inside of the bomb site if you can. They do find Stewie, but no bomb plant. Nothing else really materializes of it. And now 10-11 is the scoreline. Just 1 round between these 2 teams. Yeah. Monumental comeback from MIBR in this second half as they started to claw their way back into this game in a big way.
This scoreline is showing the value of what we were talking about earlier when it was 10-7 and we were talking about that reset round. Just winning, just losing that bonus round and then winning the follow-up has put them in a really good spot to as you can see, equal out this game, get that 11-11. Right now, they are in a great position to do so, but NRG can still buy up. And it was Daps talking in the interview with James Banks prior to this game, saying, our CT side of Mirage has been the problem. That's been where we've struggled, and if we can get our CT side locked down, we should be able to win this game. Well, it's been anything but. They got 10 rounds on the CT side of that first half, currently struggling on their terrorist side. And NRG may be overlooking one of the problems or underlooking MIBR. But let's find out how this keeps going as we get into another rifle round and MIBR challenge mid.
This shot from Stewie, and actually Tarek going to get fed to the wolves down in mid as the...
What?
Okay.
Cool.
He's not meant to win that. He's really not meant to win that, but he does. And now coldzera gonna go to shut down Ethan in mid. This has been such a back and forth series. And while Daps and Zerk now the only two players left standing, they have one smoke, two flashbangs between them, and the tall order of trying to overcome MIBR, and it's just not happening. Falling, quick flick up to Zerk. Now leaves Daps.
Ooh.
Okay. He's got me believing a little bit. Has a lot of angles to check him right now. The real kind of danger man, the real man in the danger zone that Daps is on the highway towards is coldzera. In that window over on the right-hand side. Daps first going to try and clear out his flank, anticipating perhaps that someone from MIBR has tried to be cheeky. That's largely because Fur had pushed up into the palace and found 2 kills there. So he's very aware that a man could be in the back line.
Problem is, no bomb, right? This play is all well and good, but you got 20 seconds left. You're going to have to start running if you want to give this a go. And Stewie, he's down on short. He's going to be ready for this. You can already see Stewie pivoting. And just like that, Daps has to save. Unfortunate situation to be in. He doesn't find any kills. He doesn't want to start running around with 10 seconds left because they could kill him after time. And he's got to hold on to that gun for a rainy day. But right now, it is a very, very hot one on Mirage, Harry. But no, it is not a Mirage. It is reality. MIBR have pulled this back to 11-11 after getting 10-5'd in the first half.
I mean, that's what I was going to say. Like, for me, MIBR, this has been such an unreal recovery just because even though the scoreline is still very, very close right now, even though a 10-5 half is still reasonable, it didn't tell the full story, right? That was a 10-5 half with a pistol round win, with finding the conversion, and then you look at the manner in which that they kind of went on in the rest of that first half, you know, losing 6 in a row, winning then 1 round, then losing 3 in a row, getting reset. It was such
super dominant.
Yeah, exactly, right? Whereas now in this second half, that hasn't been the case whatsoever. They have recovered. They did get knocked back a bit, but they found their footing. They started to get back into this game, and NRG, can they now rise to the occasion and start to show some of that form that we were seeing earlier from them?
We do have the A executes pistols in play for NRG. Stewie up on top of the box. He's going for that deep Molotov, but they've already past it. They're actually going to dive in through the CT spawn. They don't check the corner. Stewie can spray them all. He finds 3. And just like that, it's shut down the round. There's no chance NRG will be able to make anything out of this but mincemeat. And MIBR, they're putting them in cans and shipping them off to the hungry NRG. 2 men left back up, and Tarek and Fallen will make quick work of them. Yeah, what a ridiculous spray from Stewie.
Oh, yeah, I mean, what a round. 12-11. MIBR going to be retaking the lead for the first time since round 1. So, just unreal scenes here.
Yeah, that is actually crazy, isn't it? Wow. This is what I'm talking about when we've been saying that people are so good at transferring with that org. Like, so the spray control obviously is far easier than the AK or the M4 because it's just down and left. But, you know, still learning to such accuracy. So many players have been doing it. I guess they are professional players and are paid to play the game. So, paid to play the game. So it kind of does make sense, but still nice to see. Very aesthetic. Not aesthetic. Visually pleasing.
Yeah, almost. Yeah, that's fine. And Smoke Gibby lined up here back for T-spawn from Ethan. He's going to be throwing that in so that Zerk can run across fast as his little feet will carry in. Daps going to be looking up into the window. Doesn't spot anyone immediately, trying to cross back. Zerk is out, and in the top of mid, it does have Ethan here to back him up. That's a pretty terrifying twosome to run into. Combine that with the fact that now Daps is pushed out from lower tunnels, and mid control is very much the name of the game for NRG here as they start to push up into connector. Fallen from a top ticket. Gonna be checking if they have the tickets to ride as he looks on down. Certainly not in his town. Fallen does delete Daps and now takes a back seat, falls away in a CT to try and hold the angle. Stewie back on the org, back with the frags. Ethan's there in with the reply, trying to find Fallen, and he's going to go ahead and decapitate him at the CT box. Bomb goes down, it's Cold and Fur left in this 2v3. What can they do? Is creating a bit of a problem, does tag up Fur. He's given up his position though, and the penny drops. Cold's rotated up through ramp. The only thing is, all this information gained by Cirque, they're going to have to read that Cold's on this flank, especially now that he's found Ethan. And he's not ready at all for Breezy, who still sits inside of this bomb site. Cold pops on down, but into the arms of Breezy he goes. We're all tied up once again, 12-12.
Yeah, really nice round there from Cirque as well. Just so much damage, so much info, and good flank coming through. Very, very close, though, still. NRG winning their first round in a while on this T side by the skin of their teeth. And again, that puts them in a position where they are up and available for reset. The chopping block well and truly ahead of them. And Ethan, again, of course, is this man to find 2 key entries to open up the bomb site. He's now overtaken Breezy and Frags. Actually, sorry, Jewel 22, both of them performing. And that's why NRG have been doing so well. In those previous maps, you know, it was just maybe Ethan just top fragging and by double anyone else's kills. Now with Ethan and Breezy both having a sick game, plus everyone else doing their part, that's why this one's so close. And right now, a trade up in the apartments will favor NRG in terms of the numbers, but they've lost their key fragger.
Yeah, losing Ethan early on, what a scalp to find if you are MIBR. He really has been the star man of this team. Daps in this round back in the lower tunnels. Gonna start to creep on out. No one keeps an eye on it, so they all go rotate around to try and help out Stewie. This does give that freedom of movement up through connector, but Fallen, he's read it very, very well indeed, and he does shut down as the 2 brains of these teams clash. It's Fallen to win it out. Cold's error. They almost line up for him, and not quite. He does still find the point man. Bugly balls, and Fallen's there to frag another Cirque inside of the bomb site. Good for 1. Oh, good for 2. And now down to the 1v1. Just Tarek left, and Cirque is gonna do it. He locks in the 13th round, and with that, it's looking like it's back to the drawing board here for MIBR. They do have money to invest. Oh. Fur can go ahead and throw the AWP over. Tarek's going to be a bit strapped for cash. NRG in the driver's seat. And the reason why that round is so important, the reason why I'm getting so excited, Hugo, is now MIBR, their economy's been brought down to just an almost, to an almost standstill.
I mean, they may be in the driving seat, but is Cirque even old enough to have a license? Harry, he's joyriding. He's carjacked the old lady from around the corner, and he's riding it to victory lane. That's what's happening. 13-12 for NRG. Last tactical timeout, can I note, used by MIBR. And we are reaching a time where those are going to be so valuable. The buy coming through for MIBR. They've got the AWP at the very least. I want to see Cirque still on this rifle, back on the AK, not this AWP. And look at these frags. Look at this clutch just pulling out at such an important moment for NRG. Even though MIBR set up with a really nice double peek, it's not enough to get the round. Cirque predicts Tarek. And you can see the look of defeat on both Stewie and Yanko's face there. That does not feel good. Back into middle, though. Look at this position from Tarek. This is what Sunny loves to do on Mouse Sports, but not going to have too much success. He falls out way too early, and Ethan's already committed, so he does catch that. No support at all from any of his team. And Fallen doesn't even have armor. I mean, the nades aren't there, the kits aren't there. MIBR, they really are scratching at the surface trying to pick up this round.
Yeah, they're clutching at straws. They're trying to do everything they can. Daps up in Palace, pushing on in, leading the charge, but immediately going to get traded. Now MIBR, they need to have someone step up. We need to have someone find something impossible. Well, he's the man who normally delivers in these sorts of situations. Looking to try and live up to that now. Does have Cold alongside him, and this used to be one of the most terrifying duos in the world at one point in time, and they're looking to try and show us why. NRG now into a 2-on-2. As they do lose that man advantage that they once had. Fallen and Cold creeping forward. Cold gonna go ahead and check grab spots out. Bugly, he's been found and he's been dealt with. It's only Ethan left. They're on the bomb. They don't have a kit. Fallen has to stick it, and he is tagged down low. Ethan trying to arrive in time, barreling in. Does find him, and that's gonna be the round. There's no time left for MIBR. NRG 14-12. as Ethan manages to clutch it in the 1v2.
That was so sick from Ethan. He was in middle ready for the flank, but once Fallen started picking up kills, and once NRG started losing that 4-on-2 advantage, we saw Ethan realize that bomb is not open. I have no utility. If I'm going to win this round, I have to run all the way back. And I thought surely there was no time. But Ethan, he goes all the way around from middle to T-spawn, back into Palace, and even though Cole gets the frag, Ethan wins the round. Timeout for NRG, let that one sink in for MIBR. And boy, is that going to sink deep. $2,000 to $3,000 a player here. They have nothing, Harry. And despite Fallen's best efforts to recover that round, it is not going to be enough. It's somehow, some way, NRG in the driver's seat.
I mean, they really shouldn't have, but you figure with all the noise Ethan was making that they would have been better prepared for that. But at the same time, Fallen, the man tagged, he had to get on that defuse because Cole was too far away. If he waits for him to get on it with the more HP, then, you know, you run the risk of him dying. Fallen was inside of the bomb site. They weren't ready as well for Ethan to be up in Palace. That was like the one angle that they weren't prepared for. And now NRG, they stand just one round away from map and series point here versus MIBR. They're going to try and top it off with a fast B play, and it's Cold Zera here. Has to do it all, and he's been tagged down low. Cole's finished off, and now it is just the pistols to run against the guns of NRG. Tarek stripped on down, Stewie and Fur, all that remain. And they are not even too keen on showing their heads at this bomb site. They're going to go ahead and take a look in. You may as well, as you're approaching the end of this series. NRG reaching 15.
And this was so close as well. I mean, MIBR, if they force-bought this round, they may have had a better chance. Obviously, they're not to know, but NRG, with the fact they lose 5 players in their buy round, they only had 2 SMGs and 3 AKs into this one. It was not a perfect buy. So MIBR, no idea about the buy, and as a result there, they go for the eco. They actually get a couple of kills from it. If we see 6 saved guns, that'd be so successful, but I don't think it's going to be allowed. Fur's going to try and move in, but really they should do everything. Oh, that was so sick. Fur stood closer to the AK, the bomb blew it over towards him, and he never had to enter the kitchen. That's really, really nice from Fur. Very aware. And he actually gets away with it as well. So an AK saved after all, Harry, and a chance given to MIBR to keep this game going, to take it to overtime. They have the full buy here. And obviously, you know, the eco in the previous round being the right choice to facilitate this AWP on Fallen.
Well, NRG looking like they want to try and play another fast, fluid round, aggressive in through mid. All 3 players here. And MIBR, they've got no one keeping an eye on this. They're already down through short, but Fallen does turn his attention back around, and he does pluck Ethan from this round. Cannot stress enough how key Ethan has been to this NRG performance. So finding him early might be the edge MIBR needed to find a 13th round here and continue soldiering on in this series. Stewie in the bomb site. Does have Fur up in Palace. Cold Zera is going to be the point man, the one on rotation, as Fallen has made his way over here towards short. If he stuck around, could have tried to spot the players as they move up through connector. The timing a little bit unfortunate here for MIBR. And actually, it couldn't get worse than it couldn't get more unfortunate than this. Cold Zera has started to rotate around at the very least, so there will be 3 players here. But we're now looking to Stewie and Cold. What can they do? Stewie able to tag up the first man. Cold him with the trade, and now Fur on this late push out from Palace, cutting down Breezy, leaving Cirque in a 1v3.
But he's won rounds like this before, Harry. That's one thing you have to remain aware of. The separation of MIBR, they're all split up, but Fallen, he's going to split the head of Cirque, re-peeking back in from the spawn, closing out that round, keeping MIBR in this map and series. But still getting very close, down to the wire. That was key from Stewie as well. Not only does he get 1 kill, but he does a lot of damage to the second player. Really makes it easier for the peek from Fur, who actually went for the wallbang in through the balcony anyway. 15-13. Fallen again, the first blood from this man, and that has been the saving grace. He is 6-2 in opening duels this game, despite not always having that AWP. He's always finding those important early kills, and this is having to be an eco from NRG. They've got to give away a 14th. But they don't want to give it away, Harry, and you can see that. They've already taken a Glock kill down lower and managed to pick up an AK on the one-armored player of Breezy. This gives a bit of light at the end of the tunnel for NRG, but surely MIBR have the building works to construct a wall.
I mean, only time will tell. NRG have all the time in the world, and as you say, they do have now that massive advantage. This one AK thrown over onto Breezy. Currently, pushing on into the right tunnel. Ethan's there, and you've got to be careful with how Ethan's been playing. Might only have that deagle by his side, but that is a ferocious weapon to be in the hands of a man like Ethan. Breezy boosted up to try and take this fight into window. Oh. coldzera, just check this. He thinks it's clear. Might not be ready for Breezy up at the window, but the timing here. This is such a crucial moment. Who finds who first? Breezy versus Cold, and Cold's going to get the drop on him. MIBR back into a 4-on-4, and now they feel comfortable. NRG, not so much so. Their hands are forced to try and go for that play. And Daps will just run away, tuck tail in towards this B bomb site. The only issue is Tarek's ears. They're so open right now that they're flapping in the wind. Daps, this has been telegraphed, and you will get dealt with. 14-15, just one round away from heading through to overtime here. Can MIBR pull this back, or was this all for nothing? And will NRG take this series in a 2-1 fashion?
And this is where things get fun. This is the last timeout being used now for NRG. That's no timeouts left for either team. And when we hit overtime, we already know how crazy these guys get. It was reported saying, I read that when old SK at least went into overtime, Fallen stopped calling and Cold started calling, as in every overtime. Just because things get so crazy there, right? And you just got to completely switch stuff up. I wonder if that's still the case here. I wonder if we're going to see Cold take a more leadership role moving into overtime if we do hit it. Of course, that's not a guarantee, Harry. With one more buy round from NRG, there's a chance. It's just when you lose Ethan so early on into the round alongside Breeze, that really makes things... Breezy, sorry, that really makes things difficult there. 25 and 26 kills respectively. 27 on coldzera. And Ethan, 7 and 3 in open duels, not too bad. So, when I say not too bad, that's pretty unbelievable. That's pretty ridiculous. And he's going to make that 8 and 3 as well. Already taking down Fur. And this is the man you want to start things off. Stewie trying to relieve some of the pressure by pushing ramp, but he'll decide against it with Fallen holding his side.
And it's very good that they didn't keep on going. There's Fallen and Stewie, that synergy, that teamwork, that's dropped the bomb. Fugly able to upgrade from the Bison. Which, by the way, Glock is an upgrade from the Bison. Fallen, almost through the smoke, but yeah, they haven't been able to get this bomb. They're looking for it, they're trying to find it, but they can't quite. The smokes are down and everyone's confused.
Was that actually a Bison in play?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Fugly had one, which, you know, potential overtime point. Ethan flashed off. Good flash throwing in from Fallen. Setting up his teammate nicely, but Daps, he's already called at this B bomb site. It's Baron. The rotation's coming on in. Tarek does at least have him pinned on down inside of the bomb site. Fugly still a long way away, trying desperately to rotate round, but Cold is already in position to delete Daps. He'll get discovered and dealt with. And now Fugly in a 1 versus 3 was top fragging earlier on in the series, has to go above and beyond that now. Faces off versus Tarek, but between them, him and Cold hold their own. And we're going to be heading on through to overtime.
Yeah, unbelievable there. And what a play from Cold as well. He runs through the molly at 15-14 to get back in the site and help Tarek. The reason that being, of course, is the molly thrown by Daps. He was just trying to allow time for his teammate to rotate with the bomb, but Cold did not want Daps to get anything done on that B site. And he will not let him either. So nearing 30 kills on that player, that being coldzera. And going into overtime, this is where things really do get crazy if they haven't been already, Harry. It seemed like NRG had this one in the bag, but 3 rounds in a row after MIBR give away match point. What a comeback here from the Brazilian-American mix, and they really have made it work. 15-15, MR 310, oh sorry, 16K. Got the AWPs in, 2 of them for MIBR. Tarek on 1, I imagine that's off the back of the score, and yes indeed, he's got the quick window peek. Instead, it will actually be the other AWP, Fallen going for it, and Tarek alone towards that B bomb site for now.
Fallen. Nice easy shot for him to land as he does pluck Ethan from this round. No smoke down for the cross and no flash to try and facilitate the peak or anything. So we'll take that all day long. They try and run the gauntlet, they'll pay the price for it. And it does feel like more often than not, MIBR, whenever we've seen them pick up an early man advantage such as that, if the trade doesn't come through right away, they're normally game to just go ahead and find themselves around. Let's see if history does repeat itself here. Fallen's come rotating round into shop, so Tarek has support, both the AWPs over here at this B bomb site. And NRG now starting to push on in.
Yeah, but Fallen's in such a good spot. If they don't smoke it, they actually do. It goes in. He has to push himself inside of the site, and he'll be able to get a tag, but the tag's not the kill. Instead, it's Tarek to get on top of one, but he's not known for his AWPing and eventually will fall. And MIBR now back into it 3-on-3, and that bomb gets planted for NRG as a retake set up for great spot. Not great shot. It's Breezy with the head, and now it's really pressure up for MIBR. It seemed like this round was in their favor after that early man advantage, but if anything, it's a huge disadvantage. Only coldzera left alive, and they're ready to double peek him as well. The second that Breezy makes contact, we're going to see that peek from Daps, but it comes preemptive, and coldzera does not expect it. So, first round of overtime going the way of NRG, shutting things down on that B bomb site.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that makes it that much more impressive is they do lose that early man, and they lose Ethan. You know, one of the kind of guys who really has been holding this entire side, or not the entire game together. But, you know, you think about his impact throughout the series.
Ridiculous,
yeah, exactly. So, you know, they lose kind of their point man in that sense, and still managed to recover. Still managed to take a very convincing win. Only losing one more player from the moment they went a man down. Back into the double AWPs for MIBR. Once again, split between Tarek and Fallen.
Even a little note there is Daps throws that top mid smoke, right? Just because of Fallen being there in the previous round, killing Ethan, who went for the opening pick of overtime. And then Daps instantly rebuys a flashbang. Because we're in OT, money's not a problem there as well. So if you do throw that top mid smoke from spawn in your pugs, make sure to rebuy a nade to replace that one in the first 15 seconds. But still the round up for NRG. MIBR, no idea where these guys are. They've given up mid. There's still that AWP in play, two of them. coldzera is trying to watch the boost right now. We've not seen his position used too much, but I think they might have heard that damage, and they're going to hate it. He's got to climb on back in. They're going to try and catch him with a Molotov, but coldzera is too slick.
Ooh, very slick indeed. Fugly tries to step up to get the trade, but not able to find it. Stewie, in the meantime, besting Breezy down at the ramp. Back to the drawing board here for NRG. Losing two players very, very quickly. Last round they were able to win it out in a 4-on-5. This time it's a 3-on-5, and Fugly and Ethan just going to get chipped down. Only Cirque remains. We always say he's a flashy AWPer, but not going to be enough there to just best Tarek at that B bomb site. So 16-16 all tied up once again. Close as ever here in overtime.
Stewie having a great game as well. That's another note. He's a player that's either recently for MIBR been really top of the board or kind of struggling. There's been games where he's just not really seemed all in it. And right now sitting on 21 kills, so definitely having a bit of a comeback as we hit overtime. And now he's going to be taking the AWP over Tarek. More so what you would expect here. Tarek, what I would say is probably the 4-4 on this team, but we'll see if any of these AWPs can find success, because Fallen's already had to fall back. It's a fast play up through ramp. It's NRG keeping the pace high. The quick push towards that A bomb site. Fallen trying to fake them up with a Molotov. Burr on close-up position. He's found three, and Cirque was there with a trade, but it's too little and too late. It's a 2-on-5, and make that a 1-on-4. Rather, as Stewie shuts down one with the AWP. That's MIBR with a clean sweep over that round and taking a round lead in overtime.
Yeah, so now as we sit 17-16, quick reminder, 19, of course, is the magic number that we're looking for. And we can also, you know, try and reflect on how we got to this point in the first place. You know, initially it was a 6-2 scoreline in favor of NRG. We actually saw it get that much more one side. It was 9-3 at one point in time. You know, and then MIBR able to finish things off with a 5-10 half. Second half, completely different story. MIBR out the gate looking good. Put up a lot of resistance early on and actually end up taking the lead at one point in time. Then NRG able to dig deep, reach match point. We end up at this overtime now. You think back to the maps earlier as well. Hugo Overpass went the way of MIBR very, very convincingly. Inferno, kind of polar opposite story. It was the NRG victory there on the map pick of MIBR, and now on Mirage. It's been back and forth. We've seen these streaks. We've seen the heartbreak. We've seen it all, and it all culminates into this second half. 17-16, 2 rounds needed for MIBR. NRG, they need to go flawless. They need to get all 3 if they want to close this out.
And what a way to finish this game as well. I mean, we've had two dominant maps, as you say, followed by an overtime. That's quite the switch up, and this is as well. Look at the pace set by Ethan. We saw them do this so much in that first half, but that's, whoa, a long, long time ago. Stewie playing the smoke as he's known, and again, another entry towards his B bomb site. MIBR, they've opened it up, and they're looking to close it down. Stewie with a second. The smoke's cutting off the rotate. Cirque trying to hold down with the AWP, but what more can he do with Tarek finding the mid-rotation? And just like that, MIBR, they surely solidified this one.
Almost definitely, they're going to be reaching match point once they pick this up. 18-16.
And they are looking hyped as well. And I don't blame them. This has been a monumental comeback. That 10-5 half, that pistol round start that's pulled MIBR into this position. And NRG, things are getting quiet over on their camp. It certainly wouldn't be, you know, something to look too negatively out of your NRG if you lose to MIBR. Like, that's a team that realistically should be beating you. But knowing that you had that lead, knowing that you seemingly had this game in the bag, and then still losing it in overtime, man, that really does hurt. And they don't want that to happen, but MIBR, they're going to bring the heat once again. There's another B execute. Surely NRG don't lose this way with back-to-back fast B plays. And Fallen already looking for that pick with the AWP. But the smoke will shut him down, and that'll slow down the pace of this round.
Minute and 30 left, though, for MIBR. They have all the time in the world. The ball is in their court. And they know it. They have even a round to play with. If they lose this, they still have another. They have another chance. The pressure is somewhat alleviated in that sense. NRG, they don't have that luxury. They don't have that luxury in any sense of the word. A loss here, and this is all for nothing. NRG moving down to that lower bracket, and MIBR continuing on to face the winner of Navi versus Mouse Sports for that spot in the semis, making the playoffs indefinitely. So let's see, they're going to go back to basics, back to B, keeping it simple, stupid, as they say. Throwing in the smokes and flashes. Daps flashed off the angle, has a lot to do here, and they do line up for him, but he's only good for one. It's Fur with a double entry, and this bomb site goes the way of Brazil. As Fugly now rotating round. Ethan up on short as well, does have Tarek slipping in from behind, but he hasn't quite spotted him yet, so Ethan has been allowed to slip by the wayside for the time being. Not able to find anything just yet, and there's Tarek with that late lurk. Fugly falls as well. It's Cirque in a 1v4. He's got it all to do, and he can't get the job done. MIBR, they fight back to secure this in overtime. They take the series 2-1 as they close this out in a 19-16 fashion on Mirage.
And what a way to do it. A massive comeback on that third map. They get decimated on their own pick of Inferno as well in the previous. It looked like NRG had the full reverse sweep up their sleeve, but boy oh boy, MIBR came to play, and this team is looking ferocious, Harry.
It almost certainly is. They're really trying to roll back the years, as they say. Fallen having some fantastic moments. Burr as well. Cold was a delight to watch back on Mirage. He looked so at home on that map. And ultimately, all the pieces of the puzzle fell into place for MIBR. It's handshakes all around, lots of respect between those guys. And now we are, they can keep on prepping, they can look to the future. They want to try and secure that spot in the semis by winning out their matchup versus the winner of Nabi Mousesports coming up later on.
Yeah, and that's a huge matchup as well, so definitely keep your eyes on that. That's us done for the day, though. Henry Soto will be covering the rest of the games here on the main stream, but first, the analyst desk, and before that, a break. We'll see you in just a moment.